Hi Gemini, welcome to your weekly check-in for the 26th of November to the 2nd of December. These messages are for Gemini's Sun, Moon and Rising. Thank you to everyone who likes, shares, comments on the videos, subscribe to the channel. It's all very much appreciated. If you want to book a personal reading, please see the description box for information on how to do that. These are the decks I'm going to be using for today's reading. This one is a brand new deck that I'm really excited about using. I've used it for myself so far, and it's one of those where I just connected with it straight away. Felt good in my hands. The messages absolutely made sense. Yep, brilliant. So I'm looking forward to using this one. So I'm going to start with a message from this deck. This will be your main theme, and then we'll get into the tarot cards as well. So Gemini, Sun, Moon and Rising, getting a message from the Black Moon Lilith Cosmic Alchemy Oracle deck. That is a mouthful. But let's get your message and see what comes out for your weekly check-in. And we are going into Sagittarius season, or at the time I'm filming, we're not quite in it yet, but by the time you see this video, yeah, it will be Sagittarius season. So let's get your messages out, Gemini. So what is Gemini's main theme for this weekly check-in as we go into Sagittarius season, or as we are at the beginning of Sag season? And you might want to consider this message as well. I was going to say, we have a full moon. So I'm just thinking of the dates in my head mentally. Right, we've got a full moon, I believe, on the 27th of November. I should have double checked that, shouldn't I, really? But yeah, I'm pretty convinced the full moon is on the 27th, Monday the 27th of November in the UK. So you might want to consider this to be like something that you may want to release. Whatever message comes out, there may be something in there as a hint of something that you'd like to release, because full moons are often about releasing things, aren't they? Right, let's get into the message. I've talked enough. So what is Gemini's message? So you have Black Moon Lilith in Aquarius, honor your individuality. Right, and I am trying to look at the screen and make sure things aren't blurry, because I know that I forget that sometimes, and while I'm talking you're looking at a blurry picture. And actually, again, I know I keep saying it quite often, I really love how the colours in the cards complement this background. It's this one in particular is beautiful, isn't it? So I'm going to get you tarot cards out, and then I'll read the message from the book for that as well. So what is the theme for Gemini, Sun, Moon and Rising from the tarot as well? So main theme for Gemini from the tarot, please, for the 26th of November to the 2nd of December. And you have the Ace of Wands. And I mean, that's like your spark of inspiration, isn't it? So let's put that there. Your energy specifically within the week, the check-in. You've got the High Priestess. Any external or surrounding energies for you. You've got the Star. So this is an Aquarian card, isn't it? And this message here, it speaks of Black Moon Lilith in Aquarius. And any guidance for you as well. So you've got two cards of guidance or advice. You've got the Ten of Pentacles, wow, and the Queen of Pentacles. So probably something here about stability, long-term stability. Your sense of self-worth is probably involved here with the Queen of Pentacles, or just what do you consider to be valuable is probably a main theme as well. So let me move this deck out of the way so that I don't use the wrong clarifiers, and let's get into the message from the Black Moon Lilith Cosmic Alchemy Oracle. Right, let's see. So that's number 11. So it says, honor your individuality. It's time to let your freak flag fly for the world to see. When Black Moon Lilith in Aquarius shows up in a reading, it's encouraging you to embrace what makes you unique. It will require you to be brave and unapologetic. True friends and aligned souls will accept you for who you are. Black Moon Lilith in Aquarius represents revolution and rebellion against the status quo. Aquarius is a fixed air sign symbolized by the water bearer who pours ascended knowledge out to the collective. Structured Saturn and eccentric Uranus, or Uranus, however you want to say that, are the planetary rulers of Aquarius. When the black moon Lilith is in this innovative sign, just pointing out the Ace of Wands can be a representation of innovation as well. You can expect radical points of view, transcending societal expectations. Rosa Parks, a notable black moon Lilith in Aquarius, was arrested after she refused to give up her bus seat to a white man in 1955, sparking the Montgomery bus boycott and fueling the civil rights movement. Black moon Lilith in Aquarius also can experience feelings of being the black sheep in their early life. Your ancestry or childhood, this natural desire for liberation from the collective, could have been shunned. You march to the beat of your own drummer, even when it may be disliked or feared by others. It's about accepting yourself, quirks and all. Once you do this, those who appreciate you will find your message incredibly healing and uplifting. Dark divine feminine shadow work. Visual meditation is a powerful tool to help build confidence in yourself. During meditation, take time to allow your mind to visualize exactly who you are and want to be. This will power your future timeline with your thoughts. So that's where the self-worth and what you value can come into things as well, considering who you are and who you want to be. Right, dark divine masculine shadow work. You attract one-of-a-kind people into your life who reflect the unique qualities you desire. Learn from them and integrate what you admire instead of wanting to conform to the rest of society. Embrace who you are. The collective needs your unique soul. So what I love about this deck is that she gives examples, that the author gives examples of people who have, because Black Moon Lilith is I'm not going to probably go into too much detail here. I'm contemplating doing a full moon reading, whether it be pick a card or whatever. But we all have it somewhere in our charts. And she gives examples of well-known people who have that and examples of the situation where that came up. So she talked about Rosa Parks here. There's an example with Britney Spears. I think I've seen an example with Brad Pitt in it as well, or something like that when I've been reading the through the when I've had messages come up and read about it. But it's really interesting the way she gives examples of things that are, that are known, or that some people would know. I know not everybody knows certain well-known people or celebrities or whatever, but it's just interesting, giving an example of that in real life. But anyway, so honor your individuality, key message. And I would say honor it's honoring what you value as well. Potentially something about morals here too. But let's continue and see what else comes up. So you've got the Ace of Wands. Again, I said that's your spark of inspiration, innovation possibly, but let's see what clarifies the Ace of Wands as your key theme. And for some reason, my cards keep getting stuck when I'm shuffling this morning. Like, they're not sticky or anything, but they just seem to keep getting stuck. Anyway, let's see. Ace of Wands. Why is the Ace of Wands here? So we've got the Ten of Cups in reverse. And often for me, when I see the Ten of Cups, my first thought is it's like a work in progress. I don't instantly think, oh, that means you're unhappy or something's happening. I mean, it could be. But for me, it's usually a work in progress. And you've got the Sun on the bottom of the deck as well, which is connected to happiness too, isn't it? So yeah, it's a work in progress. So you may have recognized what doesn't make you happy, or you kind of have inspiration for something that will make you happier. Or a part of your life where you want more happiness, and it's sort of acknowledging that and perhaps being willing to take the steps. Or even if you're just at the acknowledging stage where you're like, yeah, there's something that I want to go towards, or there's something that I know isn't making me happy. I mean, I talked about release, possibly with the full moon being relevant as well for the 27th of November. So anything else? Right, we've got the Tower. So that could be where you've recognized what's not making you happy and what you want to release, actually. You may have had a spark of inspiration there for something where you kind of, yeah, you either know what you want or you don't want, basically. So anything else? We've got the Four of Swords. So that may be contemplation here, that Four of Swords. Could be healing, because I mean, after a tower, you probably would need to heal after that, but it does feel more like contemplation. So sort of assessing, deciding. You've got the Nine of Pentacles there, and you have the Queen of Cups. So You know what? Sometimes I can't remember what I've actually said. I don't know if I said you've had a feeling or inspiration in general, but that's what I'm getting with that Queen of Cups, is that awareness. That awareness and sense of knowing what does or does not make you happy. So let's look at the Nine of Pentacles. See, I often say with this Nine of Pentacles, I mean, most Nine of Pentacles, it's a similar message, but this one in particular, she just doesn't look happy to me. I'm not saying she's devastated and her life's horrible. Clearly not. She's in a beautiful garden, but she just looks lonely and like there's something missing. Like practically she has everything she needs, but this on maybe a deeper soul level or emotionally or something, there is something missing possibly, and she recognizes that. And I mean, Aquarius is a sign that is, I believe, I might be wrong here, but I feel like it is associated with freedom as well, freedom of choice. We talk about innovation and revolution with that, so freedom would come into that as well. So Nine of Pentacles, why is that there, please? So you've got the Four of Wands, and I would say with the Nine of Pentacles, that definitely speaks of foundations in some way, shape or form. Maybe you're contemplating what the foundation of your happiness is. Or you have a foundation, but you want to build on that, because you've got the Chariot next, which is like, it's like progression. It's moving forward. It's choosing your path. It's pursuing your path, isn't it? And there's, as I say, there's a foundation here. It's like you've got what you need, but what's missing from that? What's missing? Let's get one more. Ooh, Three of Cups. So Aquarius is also associated with groups, community. It is about having your own sense of individuality, but it seems like a contradiction, because as I say, yeah, Aquarius is associated with community. I suppose it's how you are, you honor your individuality within community, family, groups, other people. Maybe there's something here about like-minded people. Maybe that's what's missing for you, something to do with like-minded people, or just feeling that you can't be yourself around certain people in your life, or a lot of people in your life, if it feels like that much of a big deal. Okay, and this Ten of Cups, like most Ten of Cups, there's usually multiple people in it. And this is this is clearly a group of people. It's probably friends. Usually it's family, but in reverse, that is making me think now with some of the cards that have come up, is there something here where there's something where you're not happy, and it has to do with how, I don't know if it's how you relate to other people, but maybe how you fit with other people. Because there is a sense of isolation in this Nine of Pentacles as well. I mean, she's in a what do we call it? We call it like a comfort zone. It can be like a gilded cage. You've got the Four of Swords there. They're isolated. I mean, I know you've got the wolves around him, but from humans. Isolated from humans. You've got the High Priestess there who, I mean, she's like the keeper of secrets. It can be a bit of a sense of isolation as well. Let's look at the Tower and see what's happened there. Have you gotten into any disagreements with other people? Possibly. Or are you reassessing your social circle, friend circle, your tribe is what we say when we're like talking about people that you have close bonds with. You've got the Six of Pentacles there. And we often talk about that of being about generosity and give and take. And there's a Tower there. So has something happened? Have you separated from a group? Friendship group, family, whatever, community. We've got the Sun there. That's making me think that you've kind of had a light bulb moment, actually. But let's see what else comes up for that. Have you had a light bulb moment about the people that you're around? Got the Seven of Wands. Anything else? What comes after that? Okay. So we've got the Two of Wands. I'll just get one more for that. I do have some thoughts in my head about this. Get one more if I can, if it doesn't slip out, because this is another slippery deck. That's interesting. So for someone, you may have had an argument with people that you thought were close to you. That's one possibility with that Tower being there, because that's something very dramatic. For the most part, it looks like kind of a light bulb moment or a sense of enlightenment. or an epiphany of some kind about the people that you're around, whether it's in work, community, friends, family. But there's something here where it just feels it's something probably doesn't fit, does it? Something might not be working. You might feel like the odd man out. You might feel like you're always having to defend yourself and your choices. Or you want to start defending yourself and your choices. Maybe you haven't spoken up enough, although Gemini, stereotypically, if we're going to go by stereotypes, you're known to be quite, you can be quite outspoken, can't you? But this is a Gemini card as well, the Magician. For me, the Magician in reverse, it's where you kind of, not powerless, but something's had an impact on your sense of power and confidence here. So there may be some sort of disruption with the people and in terms of fitting in and everything. Maybe you're feeling like you need a new tribe. But I'll take these out and put them back on top of there. So let's have a look at the High Priestess and see what comes up for that. So I do get the impression that there's something going on in your mind where you might be sort of reconsidering, at the very least, your alliances, your friendships, your bonds, your connections with people. So why is the High Priestess there? So this is how you're dealing with everything. I mean, I would say you're probably not telling anyone for a start, even if you are kind of mentally reassessing where you belong, who you belong with, where you feel safe at home, yourself. You're probably keeping it to yourself at this point in time. So the High Priestess, please, why is that there? Yeah. Oh, we've got the Three of Swords, okay. Seven of Pentacles, it's the Is It Worth It card, isn't it? And I said that, honouring what you value, your sense of worth, what's important to you. Anything else? Ace of Pentacles, that could be, as I said, if you're having doubts about the people that you're around, your current tribe, and I'm going to say it with air quotes, tribe, you might be contemplating new opportunities to meet people, or to, opportunities to meet new people, create a new sense of community, friendship groups, that kind of thing, a new sense of family. Something here has hurt or disappointed at the very least. Anything else? But it looks like you haven't spoken about it just yet. Eight of Cups, okay. So again, as I was saying, it's like you may not have said anything about it. The Eight of Cups for me being in reverse, I mean upright, it's where you walk away from what's not working, what doesn't feel right anymore, what doesn't feel fulfilling anymore. In reverse, again, work in progress. You're probably contemplating it, but you may not have done it yet. Or you might be thinking, is this the right thing to do? If you're needing to leave people behind or distance yourself or something like that, you might be sort of, as I say, work in progress rather than something's literally separated yet, or you might be just contemplating it. And then we have the Moon, which is things that are hidden. So, yeah, you've got two major cards, the Moon and the High Priestess, of things being hidden. So you might not have told people this yet. Although, as I say, it looks like something's happened with that Tower. I mean, the Tower itself could be the epiphany, but let's look at that Three of Swords and see what's going on there. Has something literally happened? Oh, Ten of Swords. Has somebody said something to you or done something to you that's hurt you, but you haven't sort of had it out with them yet, is the thing that comes to mind. I think that's the only way I can put it. You haven't had it out with them. So like if something happened, it's kind of, is it in limbo at present, where you're kind of not knowing where you stand and they're not knowing where they stand, and you're sort of thinking it over. You know, like when you have an argument with somebody and then you just walk away and it's just up in the air, isn't it? It's unresolved. It hasn't concluded yet. It may not have concluded physically, but I would say mentally, you probably made your mind up. Logically, you've made your mind up. It's like one thought that's come into mind. So I'm going to use a romantic relationship as an example, just because that's the easiest thing to do it. You know, if you're in a relationship with someone, if you argued all the time, you disagreed all the time, you haven't actually agreed to break up, or no one said they want to break up yet, and you still have feelings for the person, but in your mind you sort of like, this can't work, this has to end, but you just haven't done it yet. So it's like mentally you've checked out. So mentally you've checked out, you do still have feelings, but you just know it's not going to work. And you're just contemplating your next move. That's what I'm getting. Mentally checked out. I think that might be your title actually. Mentally checked out is what I'm getting here. Do you not feel like you can be yourself with this person or people? We've got Temperance. So that can be a card of harmony, balance, connection even. Let's get one more for that. We've got 8 of Wands there, which can be about movement, progression, or communication. Let's get one after the 8 of Wands. Oh, progression. Next to the Chariot is progression. So whatever's happened here, I'm gonna go with the mentally checked out. That makes sense to me. If something's happened where you've been disappointed or hurt with a person or a group of people, I think you've mentally checked out. You may not have gone much further than that, but you definitely want your peace back, I would say, or your sense of calm or whatever it is, and you want to move on. I'd say you probably want to move on from that, but you may not have done it yet. You might be just thinking about it. So I'm going to leave that there, and we're going to look at the Star, which is the external energy. And that's an interesting one coming up here. So we'll see what comes out for that. Ooh, so the Star, the first thought that's come into my mind is belonging. Okay, let's clarify that and see what else happens. So this is an external or surrounding energy. So as I keep saying, it can potentially be another person, or it can be just energy around you, like the effects of planets and stuff like that, that kind of pushes you, events that happen and things that kind of push you and inspire you to do certain things or to address certain things. And as I always say, we always have free will, freedom of choice, and it's, you get, whatever happens, you get to decide how you respond to that, or the actions that you take. So the Star, why is the Star there, please, as an external or surrounding energy? So we've got the Seven of Swords, which I think my first go-to with the Seven of Swords is often escape plan. Then I would say probably risky behaviour, and then lies and deceit, that sort of thing. You've got the Six of Cups there. I have a thought on that, but let me just see what else comes out. Actually, I'll tell you, it's that sense of belonging again. You know, like when you're a kid, and you know what kids are like. They play with anyone. All they see is another human being that they can enjoy spending time with, don't they? It's not like with adults where we analyse the shit out of everything, which rightly so, because obviously it's more complex when you're adult. But kids, young kids especially, it's just like, oh, another human being, let's play together, let's enjoy, let's have fun. That's how kids are. And I don't think that kids, when they're that young, they haven't established that sense of belonging. Well, obviously kids are complicated nowadays, aren't they? They can be mean as well, but for the most part, when they're really little, it's just, they don't have to think about that stuff. They just belong, because you're just another kid. I'm going to have fun with you. That's it. That's all it takes for the most part. And you might be wanting to get that again. You might be escaping from something that doesn't feel like that, and that may be what you want. Whether it is friendship, community, at work, family, romantically, whatever. So... and especially when they're really little as well, they're just themselves, aren't they? They don't care. They're not necessarily worrying about what people think of them too heavily until they start to get older. So anything else? I mean, that Seven of Swords as well, it could be related to, as I said, if you feel like you can't be yourself around people, that's kind of where you're lying to yourself, you're lying to them. Not maliciously, but it's like hiding who you are. Nope. That was really weird the way that all fell off there, but let's try that again. So after the Six of Cups, Six of Wands, for me, I mean, all of them really, but this one in particular, this is where you want to be seen as you are. You want to be heard, you want to be respected, you want to be valued. Four of Pentacles. I mean, that's a protective energy, isn't it? That is a very protective energy. So that's kind of, in a way, it's a bit of an opposite to the Six of Wands. I wouldn't be surprised if the next card that comes out is similar to the something similar to the Four of Pentacles, but we'll see. Oh, we have the Hermit. So this is a card of I mean, that is isolation in a way, isn't it? It's pursuing your own path, but there is a sense of isolation with the Hermit as well, and sort of distancing yourself from pretty much everyone, or most people at the very least. Right, so I'm going to look at, it still feels the same. It's still a sense of wanting to belong. I mean, maybe you have people or a person in mind that you feel you belong with, or maybe it's just as I say, it's an energy that's sort of pushing you to it's sort of pushing you to acknowledge a sense of not belonging. And you know what, I wish that before I'd done this reading I had looked at the whole full moon stuff properly and sort of looked at what house of yours it's happening in, because I might look at after. It's not going to be much help to you after, is it? But out of curiosity, with this stuff coming up, I might just check. Let's have a look at the Seven of Swords, and I think I'll leave it there because the rest feels self-explanatory to me in a way. Yes, that's someone who hides their feelings, isn't it? The King of Cups feels very deeply but hides them, and then the Three of Pentacles is cooperation with people. So again, it's kind of giving a hint of kind of hiding your thoughts, your feelings, who you are from groups when you're around other people, which again, I said, stereotypical Gemini. It's hard to imagine that, isn't it, really? But we're not stereotypes, are we? We're very complicated people with a lot going on in our heads, a lot of psychology, a lot of astrology, and whatever else is involved in there. Anything else? Five of Swords. I mean, that is often conflicts. It can be mental conflicts because it's swords, but for the most part, it's in the cards, it is usually conflicts with other people, isn't it? Anything else for that? You know what, I wish I'd said it before this card came out, but I thought, oh, there's no point saying it. I was going to say you speak in your mind, and then the Ace of Swords comes out in reverse. I really wish I'd said that when I was actually thinking it, because then it would have looked really cool coming out like that. Yeah, I was going to say you speak in your mind, but because of Gemini, I kept thinking, oh, there's no point saying that to Gemini. Gemini is like known for speaking their mind. And then we've got the Three of Wands there after. So, I mean, there's clearly something here with whether it's one person or a group of people, whoever they are in your life, where it's like you're not being yourself, or you feel like you're not allowed to be yourself, or you can't be yourself for whatever reason. That Three of Wands at the end there is baffling me slightly. As I said, this just feels like it could be where you're not speaking your mind, and it may not be your whole life. It might just be one particular situation, like say if it was at work or something, you feel like you can't speak your mind at work. I'm just going to get one more after that Three of Wands just to see if it can make that a bit clearer. It might be to do with intentions here, or that you're not, I don't know, you feel like you can't get what you want. Right, see, all I'm getting now is more cards of communication, but that is a weird one. It may be that you'd either not speak in your mind, or you feel like you're not heard when you do speak your mind, or you're not getting back whatever it is you want from communication, something to that effect. But yeah, there's three cards of communication there. Page of Swords, Knight of Swords. I mean, the Knight of Swords potentially could be seen as argumentative, and the Page of Swords can be known as like immature communication as well, can't it? Or not understanding something, getting the message wrong. So there's something there, there's an issue there as well. But overall, this star, it feels like kind of, again, I still stand by what I said, belonging. There's something here where there's an energy that's probably making you consider where you feel like you belong, where you feel like you're heard, where you feel like you're valued, something to that effect. So I'm going to take these on. We're going to look at your advice now. So you've got the Ten of Pentacles and you've got the Queen of Pentacles. And the Ten of Pentacles, this one's, it's just, there's no people in it. But usually when there are people in it, it's family members, it's connected to legacy, stability. It probably is within this reading. So like long term, I don't know what the word is that I want to use here. I don't want to say connections, but bonds, maybe. I mean, that is the same as connections, isn't it? But it could be something about getting the balance between honoring your own individuality, your own values, your own sense of sense worth, sense of self-worth, with your tribe. I'm going to say tribe because that's the easiest way, and that's people that you'd want to have in your life long term, and that you can create stable foundations with, whether it is in a relationship or what you're working on, that type of thing. So let's clarify that. So just bear with me while I get the cards back in the deck. So Ten of Pentacles, Queen of Pentacles as your advice. Why is that there, please? So again, we have the Ace of Wands coming up, inspiration. I mean, maybe it's as simple as wanting to be around people that that you feel inspired with, or inspired by, or that are inspired by similar things to you. Anything else? Try that again. Anything else, please? Okay, yep, we've got death. Ooh, the devil, okay. So what I'm thinking here is, I would say something needs to change in terms of, I don't want to say how you relate to people, because I don't necessarily feel like that's the problem. The types of people that you're around, and it's not criticizing the people that you're currently around, because just because we don't relate or connect to people, it doesn't mean that there's anything wrong with anyone. It's just that you can't have things in common with everyone, can you? You can't have common ground with everyone. You can't connect deeply with everyone. But as I say, it may be a case of reassessing who you're around, who you spend your time with, who you form your bonds with, because there might be something at present where whoever you're around, whatever the situation is, it's somehow holding you back and you're not being yourself, or you're not progressing in the way that you'd like to. And you know, like, what I think the best way to say it is, you know, like if you wanted to pursue a certain career path, but you don't have any connection to anybody who has that similar career path whatsoever, and it's like, I'm not saying that we should use people for networking purposes, but you know, like, it's like, so for example, say if you were a writer, they often say, oh, being around other writers and reading a lot and blah blah blah, that will help to inspire you. And it's like you inspire each other, don't you? Whereas if you wanted to be a writer and you're only around, oh, I don't know, doctors who don't give a shit about writing or creativity or books or anything, there's absolutely nothing wrong with the doctors, but then it's going to be, unless you are an extremely self-motivated person, it's going to be hard, isn't it, to feel inspired. And if those doctors, as I say, if they have zero interest in your writing or creativity or books in general, it's like you feel like you can't even talk about it, because it's like, well, what's the point? They don't get it, they don't care, it's a waste of my breath. If that makes sense. So anything else? It's like you need people for some certain part of your life or situation that are kind of like-minded, or you have some major common ground with them to help you progress, to help inspire you, and probably give the same to them as well. So let's see, anything else? And this could be spiritually as well, because the ones are spiritual, aren't they? So say if you're on some new spiritual path, but you don't have anybody in your life that gives a shit about that kind of thing. They've got no knowledge of it. Not only do they not have any knowledge of it, they absolutely do not give a shit about it. And every time you try to bring it up, they try to change the subject. Yeah, that kind of, I mean, it's not to say that you can't get on with what you've got to do, but it's just like, we're humans. We need to have common ground with certain things and be able to talk about the things that are important to us with other people who feel the same way about that particular thing. It doesn't mean that you can't be friends with people who are different or talk to people who are different or do things differently, but you do need, when you have something that's really valuable and important to you, I think it does help a lot if you have some people at the very least, or one person at the least in your life who shares that feeling or that inspiration or an interest in that particular thing, so that you can bounce off each other. Right, so I feel like I could have, if I'd gotten to that point at the beginning of the reading, that would have helped and it wouldn't be as long. But anyway, that is too many. Let's put those back. So you've got the sun there. So let's just get one more after the sun. Right, so you have, the three of, I mean, it is what I've just been talking about, isn't it? It's needing to connect with people, or have that common ground with at least some people in your life where you, where you can relate on the same thing and inspire each other and sort of propel each other, I guess is one way of putting it. So this was in reverse. The sun card, I'm just going to have a look at that. I feel like that would be the inspiration and the potential. It's where if you transform things and you are somehow able to connect with people who, as I say, you share something in common with or a certain feeling about something, it kind of, it fuels you, doesn't it? And that's kind of what that sun feels like, because the sun, it helps things to grow. The sun helps everything on the planet to grow, doesn't it? And to thrive. So right, I'll take those. We've got the 9 of Wands. We have the Star and the 2 of Pentacles. So for the first thing I will say is, right, so the Star, again, inspiration. 9 of Wands, you can't thrive if you're always trying to defend yourself, protect yourself, you feel like you're trapped. Yeah, and then the 2 of Pentacles, again, if you're juggling, if you're always trying to juggle everything, balance everything, if you're around other people and you're always trying to create balance with them in conversations or in activities or whatever it is that you do, rather than things flowing, then it's going to be hard to thrive. And as I say, it's not that you can have common ground and love the same things as everyone, or they have to love everything the same as you. But if it's a struggle, because 9 of Wands and 2 of Pentacles, to me, that's a struggle. That is, if it's a struggle, it's difficult to thrive. You need that inspiration, don't you? And the Star there for me, that is the inspiration. So I'm going to leave it there. So advice overall, who inspires you? Who are the people in your life that inspire you? Whether it's people in online communities or people in real life, where are those people that inspire you? Because that can help to transform things and help you to thrive more and inspire you more and propel you forward and create, and then that in turn would create long-term sort of more stability in whatever area of your life or situation it is you want more stability in. But obviously you got to contemplate with that Queen of Pentacles, you have to contemplate what it is you value the most first. What is it in particular that you value, where you want more inspiration in your life and where you'd like to inspire others as well? Like, what do you want to share that it's like, oh my God, I love this so much and I want to share this information or this thing or whatever it is, because you inspiring other people, it fuels you too, doesn't it? Right, so I've talked enough. I'm going to leave that there and I'm going to get a final card of advice. I know I've talked a lot, from the Power of Love deck. So final bit of advice for Gemini, for the Gemini Sun, Moon and Rising for the 26th of November to the 2nd of December. So what you may want to release if you are considering it to be a full moon reading is, or connected to the full moon on the 27th, is, I don't really like to say releasing people because it's not that deep. And I think people write people off a lot nowadays really easily, don't they? Probably me included in that. But I would say if you have a habit of not sort of being yourself or feeling like you can be yourself or speaking your mind or spending too much time around people who kind of oppose what's of value to you, you might want to release that so you can make space for new, however you need to do that. So final bit of advice. Final bit of advice for Gemini, Sun, Moon and Rising, that's flown across the room. Humility. Right, this is an interesting one. I don't know if you can read that clearly. It says, you have developed the loving awareness that you and everyone else are the same but on different paths. And I'm just going to quickly look at the book, see if there's any, I mean, these cards are pretty self-explanatory. But I will see if there are any key points that I want to pick out. Okay, you know what, I'm just going to read it because it's easier. I know it makes the reading really long. So it says, as an extended message, remember to acknowledge that no one is lesser or greater than you. Only some employ the tools of love, compassion and acceptance to a lesser or greater extent. Humility is one of life's most estimable qualities. Accepting others as fellow souls who only desire love and understanding and encouragement is the highest achievement of all. Learn not to compare yourself to others because you never really know what personal trials and obstacles they face. A humble soul does not come from a space of fear but attempts to take chances on new ideas and experiences for the benefit of all. Ever grateful for today and enthusiastic about what tomorrow may bring, they naturally exhibit compassion and charity, deriving true joy from giving rather than receiving. When you live without self-importance and pride, you find it easy to practice kindness. Life doesn't revolve around only what you can do to succeed, but what you can do to help those on your path. With a humble spirit, you never need to compare yourself to another, because you realize that it is our inherent uniqueness that teaches us about the world in which we live. Everyone has a purpose for being. So I love that. And interestingly enough, right, so this is the one that you got, humility. And I actually thought the card that follows was the one you were going to get, individuality. I thought that was going to come out. So it's interesting that they're back to back and I forgot about that. But I will say, so yes, it could be very much about you feeling like you can't be yourself. But another thing you may need to release is if there is any sort of resentment or anything like that, of feeling like everybody's always against me. Why can't people believe what I believe? I mean, as it says in the card, you have to kind of accept that everyone's different and everyone's on different paths and find the tribe that you do connect with. I mean, you can be very opposite from people and still have a little bit of something in common with them. But as I say, there may be something that is particularly valuable to you that you really want to share with others. And it might be that you need to take the lead and reach out and start a group or something like that to kind of progress and get the inspiration that you need and that you can share as well. So I'll leave your message there. Hopefully that made sense to you. So feel free to like, share or comment on the video and subscribe to the channel as well. If you'd like a personal reading, see the description box, and thank you very much for watching. Until the next reading, take care.